Back in St. Joseph at the Patey House, it looks like one crime there has been solved just as another has occurred. Tombstones at the museum have been ripped from the ground in an act of vandalism, but also a plaque stolen from there earlier this year has been returned. Here's KQ2's Kylie Thomas with this strange twist for the history books.
Jesse James is one of America's most notorious criminals. Back in January, when one of his own possessions was stolen, the thief did something Jesse never would have. He returned it.
It's now in Jesse James' house, fastened to the wall a little tighter.
Remember this guy caught on camera? Broke into the Jesse James home, stole a plaque reading "God bless our home," the very last thing Jesse touched before he was shot? Well, guess he had a change of heart.
5 months later, he brought the plaque back, brought it in the front door and said, "Don't call the police," and the other items that he stole, and he lived about a half block up the street.
Now the director of the museum doesn't know why he returned the plaque, but he has a pretty good idea why he stole it in the first place.
The guy has a large tattoo of Jesse James on his chest. He would have to be a big fan of him.
At the time of the robbery, Gary didn't piece it together, but he actually met the thief before.
Before he had broken in, he contacted my son and me on the front porch and took his t-shirt off and showed us the tattoo.
While one mystery is solved, another one popped up in its place at the Patey House.
They crawled over the fence and got inside and kicked over 2 of the tombstones, broke them off at the base. They're white marble, and they took 3 of them.
On November 18th, the cemetery outside the Jesse James home was vandalized. Where 4 tombstones stood, only 1 remains whole. Upstairs, a second is being repaired after the vandals left it torn in 2. The tombstones were 160 years old.
So it's a sad case. These were historically significant.
Unfortunately, this time, the cameras didn't capture the suspects.
Well, there's a light right there, and that light blinded the camera.
Gary doesn't believe the tombstones will be returned, but he said crazier things have happened. He's just hoping the raids of crime come to an end.
They were not particularly financially worth anything, but there's something that we no longer have that would be nice to have displayed.
Reporting in St. Joseph, Kylie Thomas, KQ2 News.
Museum director says they did not press charges against the suspect who returned the plaque, but did return the compensation they received to the insurance company. To see that famous sign back in its place at the Patey House, you can go there on Saturdays.